Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, an update on yesterday's fatal shooting in Oregon.
The Vatican breaks its silence about the Pope's meeting Kim Davis.
And are STDs on the rise here on the Hill? Our own Rob Romano has the story.
Those stories and more, this is Citrus TV News.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Monica Hammer.
And I'm Jacob Reynolds. STDs are on the rise here at SU. That's our top story tonight. Students on campus know the health center is the place to go if you're feeling sick, but the amount of students using the center's sexual health resources has been going down. Rob Romano tells us how this could be affecting STD rates on campus.
Candy, condoms, and Kleenex. The Health Services Center has been giving away free supplies during the past few weeks. The giveaway is being done to raise awareness of next month's free flu shots in Flanagan Gym. Health education intern Akua Sakiri says the health center also offers sexual health resources.
Health Services has free condoms, free lube, anything that they need about information about STDs, free testing for them is provided at Health Services. So they can always go to Health Services and get more information.
But the amount of students using sexual health resources has gone down in comparison to last year. One expert says the problem is bigger than you think.
Statistics show that the college population in particular, that 1 in 3 people has an STD.
That's Director of SU Health Services Benjamin Domingo. He says the number could be that high because many diseases don't always have symptoms, which makes people think everything is okay.
Data surrounding STDs is very, very tricky because a lot of the STDs that are most prevalent, specifically chlamydia, are, what's called asymptomatic. They don't have symptoms. So people don't get tested.
SU has its own statistics. This September has seen 200 fewer students be tested for STDs in comparison to last September. The most common STD on campus is chlamydia, and the number of students with STDs went up by half a percentage point from 2014 to 2015. Despite the numbers at Syracuse University, the number of STDs also seems to be on the rise in Onondaga County, but to a harsher extent.
This year, so far, till last month, the numbers for chlamydia is up almost 40%.
That's Dr. Kwok Win with the Onondaga County Health Department. He says gonorrhea has gone up by about 10%, while syphilis has gone down. He says dating apps might be contributing to the increases.
The apps, for young people to meet or for people who are sexually active to meet, have been used more frequently.
Benjamin Domingo in Health Services says not getting tested has its costs.
The long-term ramifications are very, very serious. They can cause heart problems, they can cause sterility, they can cause long-term infections that are very difficult to treat with antibiotics because they've been in your body for a long time.
If you want to get tested for STDs, Domingo says all you would need to do is call Health Services and they would get you scheduled in about a week for an appointment, and even sooner if you have symptoms. Rob Romano, Citrus TV News.
And if you don't want to go to health services to be tested for STDs, the STD clinic inside downtown Syracuse's Civic Center is another option.
An FBI agent is saying former SU assistant basketball coach Bernie Fine tried molesting him 34 years ago. Douglas Estralaga testified that Fine inappropriately touched him while playing basketball in a Syracuse park back in 1981. Fine was fired back in 2011 after multiple ball boys accused him of sexually assaulting them. A You Are Not Alone list will be published in the Daily Orange in honor of Coming Out Month. The list is aimed to recognize and celebrate people of marginalized genders and sexes. If you wish to be included on the list, you can email your name to lgbt@syr.edu. The deadline to add your name is Monday, October 5th by 5 p.m.
An FBI report shows crime in Syracuse is down for the first time in 5 years. According to the FBI Uniform Crime Report, between 2013 and 2014, instances of violent and property crimes have decreased. This comes despite a rise in population during that same time frame. And state officials are now saying food poisoning caused the sickness of nearly 36 people just outside of Syracuse 2 months ago. At least 9 guests were taken to local emergency rooms after eating foods contaminated with toxins at a wedding reception. The health department says there are no additional cases of illness associated with the facility.
After the break, the latest updates out of Roseburg, Oregon.
And a big announcement from one of Obama's cabinet members. Don't go away.
Well, it's officially fall here in Syracuse, and it was another cool, cloudy, and very windy day. But are we going to see any warmer temperatures next week? I'll let you know in my full forecast right after this.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
Huntington! Every proper bear knows that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats.
Oh, Billy. I just did what any bear would do.
So know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size.
I like it.
To learn more, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, where's that bear?
More details are coming out of Oregon as authorities investigate the shooting that took the lives of 9 yesterday.
Reports now say the alleged shooter, a 26-year-old, specifically targeted Christians. First-hand accounts say the shooter told students to stand up if they were Christian and told them, quote, "Good, because you're going to see God in a second."
Those who know the shooter describe him as shy and sensitive. Authorities say they recovered 6 guns at the school and 7 more at the gunman's home.
Just moments ago, Sheriff Hanlon released the names of all the victims. President Obama spoke on the tragedy yesterday evening.
Typically, I would say good afternoon. Obviously, today here in Southern Oregon is not a good afternoon. It's been a terrible day.
This shooting is the 45th school shooting this year alone. Sheriff John Hanlon has asked the media to respect the privacy of victims' families at this time.
Frontrunner to be the next Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, has apologized for comments made about the intention of the House Benghazi panel. Earlier this week, McCarthy insinuated the panel was created to undermine Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. McCarthy clarified that the sole purpose of the panel is to find out the truth about the 2012 attack in Libya that killed 4 Americans. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi spoke about whether or not moves made by the committee violate ethic rules.
And you ask any member, one of the things that you have to be very specific about is that none of your taxpayer dollars are used for any political purpose. And I think he clearly, gleefully claimed that this had a political purpose and had a political success.
Secretary of Education Arne Duncan will be stepping down from his post in December. Duncan is one of the few original members of Obama's cabinet left. Obama has chosen Deputy Secretary of Education John B. King Jr. as his successor. At 50 years old, Duncan is the longest-serving Secretary of Education in U.S. history.
Republican Governor Mary Fallin of Oklahoma canceled the execution of Richard Glossip on Wednesday, just minutes before the scheduled time. In fact, all scheduled executions in the state of Oklahoma have been suspended in an investigation to check if the lethal drugs are compliant with state rules. Glossip appeared before the Supreme Court earlier this year to determine the constitutionality of the controversial drug midazolam.
The U.S. National Hurricane Center is assuring people that Hurricane Joaquin will not be a major threat to the U.S. East Coast. This comes following the second day of powerful winds and water on Friday from the Category 4 hurricane. Residents of New Jersey, New York, and the Carolinas have been on high alert as they face the possibility of another superstorm.
The new leader of the Afghan Taliban is calling the seizure of a major city a historic event. The terrorist organization temporarily captured the northern city of Kunduz on Monday. Taliban militants pulled out of the city just after 3 days, but called the takeover a symbolic victory. The Afghan government successfully pushed the Taliban out of the city on Thursday.
And Russian defense officials say they carried out 7 airstrikes last night in Syria, including a command post and training camp. The overnight air raids took place near the northwestern city of Raqqa. This marks the first airstrike in an area considered to be under control of the Islamic State. In response, the U.S. and several other UN countries issued a joint statement this morning. They are calling for Russia to stop targeting the opposition groups in the country.
And the leader of Iran has warned against tough and harsh retaliation towards Saudi Arabia if victims of the Hajj stampede are not sent back to Iran soon. The Iranian leaders claim that Saudi Arabia failed in caring for the wounded pilgrims in a quick manner. The death count in the tragedy has surpassed 450 people.
The Vatican has spoken out about Pope Francis's meeting with Kentucky County Clerk Kim Davis, saying the meeting is not an endorsement. Many thought the Pope was lending his support to her views of same-sex marriage. Last month, Davis refused to grant marriage licenses to same-sex couples despite federal law.
Temperatures dropped this week and people are starting to break out their heavier jackets.
Our Nick Ross is here to tell us what we can expect going into the weekend and what to expect on Monday.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, as you said, it's been a cool day outside. 52 degrees is your temperature outside right now, and it feels actually a lot colder than that, and that's to do with this 13-mile-an-hour wind out of the north-northeast. That wind is really making things a lot cooler than that 52-degree temperature. We're certainly seeing things feel a little bit more like fall. If we take a look at where we would normally be for this time of year, average is actually 65 degrees is the high, so we're well below average, though nothing as high or low as any of the record temperatures that we've seen. Low of 46, we're sitting pretty close to there. As we look out at tonight, 42 degrees overnight. Things will cool down quite a bit. Cloudy. Those winds will still stay about where they are overnight, 11 miles per hour out of the northeast, but no rain overnight, which is always nice to see. As we take a look out at the live and telecast radar, we can see this storm system here, believe it or not, is not from Joaquin. I'm going to show you what that looks like a little bit later. This is just another storm system that's moving over the northeast, but the nice thing is you can see up through Saturday, we may get a little bit of rain, but shouldn't be anything too major to worry about. You can see most of it is off to the coast here or over to the side of us, and it should actually miss us. If we take a look at where the storm tracks are, as I mentioned, most of this is going to track off the coast, and we won't really see anything tracking up this way. All of it is pushing off to this side. As we take a look out at the entire country, the surface map, you can see this huge stationary front over here. That's what's bringing a lot of that severe weather in and making things really kind of dicey on the coast here. This is the current flood advisories that are in effect right now. You can see all over here. That's to do with Hurricane Joaquin. A lot of people experiencing some very, very severe weather. If we take a look at the rainfall forecast through Monday, you can see right down here in kind of the heart of the storm, 12 12 to 18 inches of rain. And the reason this is going to cause a lot of flooding is we had storms earlier on. The storms have been so steady and so continuous that ground is just saturated and really isn't soaking up any water at all. So the flooding that we see will be pretty dramatic. As we look out across the entire country at our highs and the weather, you can see Syracuse is a little bit abnormal. That storm system that I was talking about is bringing things a lot cooler than we would used to be seeing. Pretty typical fall temperatures across the north of the country. Still some pretty warm temperatures down in the south, though. As we take a look at tomorrow, Saturday, 54 degrees, cloudy. Those winds will still continue, though. As we look at the 5-day forecast, Saturday, 20% chance of rain. A little bit of that storm system might hit us, but cloudy for most of the rest of the week. 63 your high on Sunday, so things warm up just a little bit. On Monday, 65, Tuesday, 65, and Wednesday, 66 as your high.
So Hurricane Joaquin, that's been causing a lot of severe temperatures on the coast. Do you think we're going to be seeing any of those effects in Syracuse?
Shouldn't see anything. The only thing that we'll really be seeing is from that storm system that was moving through. And like I said, just maybe a little bit of a sprinkle on Saturday, but shouldn't be too much to worry about.
All right, thank you, Nick Ross. And when we come back, a new study shows your height can make you more likely to get cancer.
And find out what presidential candidate is making a cameo on Saturday Night Live tomorrow. We'll be right back.
If you see news happening on campus in Syracuse or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom at 315-443-1177 or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Me parece que ya está listo.
No permita que la salmonela baile en su pollo. Este año, aproximadamente 1 de cada 6 norteamericanos se enfermará por causa de alimentos contaminados. Así que aprenda las temperaturas correctas para cocinar cada tipo de carne. Aprenda cómo mantener a su familia sana en foodsafety.gov.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
First day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
A Swedish study now links height to cancer. Taller individuals were found to have a slightly higher risk of breast and skin cancers.
Results found that for every 4 inches of height, the risk of developing cancer increased 18% in women and 11% in men. Experts say don't worry, though. Many risk factors weren't taken into account. And 15 water cooling towers have been found contaminated after cases of Legionnaire's disease have been reported in New York City. That includes one case in the Bronx that resulted in a death this week.
New York City officials ordered these same towers to be disinfected after the disease killed 12 in July and August.
Legionnaire's disease can grow quickly in as few as 1 to 2 weeks, raising questions on the effectiveness of the disinfection program. September turned out to be a disappointing month for job growth in the U.S. Only 142,000 jobs were added, and the number of jobs added in July and August was lower.
But the unemployment rate stayed at around 5.1%, its lowest level in 7 years.
Class action lawsuits have been filed against chocolate manufacturers Hershey, Mars, and Nestle. According to the Daily Beast, the lawsuits claim that the companies are guilty of false advertising for failing to disclose the use of child slavery on their packaging.
In 2010, the companies pledged to decrease child labor in the cocoa industry by 70% by the year 2020. By 2014, that number had increased by 51% since 2008. And a New Jersey judge has granted a new trial for Lady Gaga's first producer and ex-boyfriend. This overturns a previous order that he pay $7.3 million to Wendy Starland, the Hollywood songwriter who discovered her.
The trial was given to Rob Fusari on September 3rd, but the ruling wasn't unsealed until this week. And Taylor Swift has donated $50,000 to a backup dancer's nephew who's battling cancer.
The family says the 13-month-old was diagnosed with cancer this week after spending 2 weeks in the ICU.
This isn't a first for the pop star. Swift also donated $50,000 to a fan battling cancer.
Saturday Night Live returns tomorrow night, kicking off its 41st season. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton will make an appearance on this weekend's episode of the show.
Clinton will join comedian actress Kate McKinnon, her infamous impersonator, during SNL's Cold Open. Clinton is anticipated to make fun of herself for trying to seem more authentic to voters.
Coming up in sports, we'll find out how the SU women's field hockey team fared in their game today. Plus, we'll go around the hill taking a look at other SU sports, and we'll find out if the Yankees could finally pop those champagne bottles and clinch a playoff berth. All that and more coming up next, so stay with us here at Citrus TV News.
Hey Orange Nation, I'm Brianna Butler on the women's basketball team.
And I'm Trevor Cooney of the men's basketball team.
And the season is right around the corner.
You can get your first look at the teams at Orange Madness on Friday, October 16th.
Come watch us at the Carrier Dome for the first time this season. There'll be a dunk contest.
And after the scrimmages, come get selfies with the teams.
Hope to see you there. We nailed it. Killed it.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Thank you.
You got a king?
Go fish. In your face, in your face.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back here inside the Citrus TV studios. It's time to talk a little sports. We'll start with the number 2 ranked SU field hockey team. The Orange took down Monmouth University earlier today, and Alma Fine led the way with 2 goals on 4 shots. Next up for the ladies, Cornell on Sunday. The Syracuse men's soccer team heads down to Durham tonight for a big ACC matchup against Duke. The Orange look to extend their 3-game winning streak, while the Blue Devils look to avoid being winless for the 6th straight game. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Coming off 3 straight losses to top 10 teams, the women's soccer team looks to get back on track on Sunday. They'll face the 4th straight ACC foe, Louisville, at home. The game is set to get started at 12 p.m. The Syracuse volleyball team has a busy weekend in the ACC ahead of them. Citrus TV's Carly Nevis tells us how the Orange has fared in the past against their next 2 opponents.
The Syracuse volleyball team carries a 6-game winning streak with them this weekend when they visit Louisville and Notre Dame for 2 ACC matches. First up are the Cardinals, who the Orange has never beaten in their 19 meetings all time. This match has extra meaning as head coach Leonard Yellen spent 15 seasons at Louisville, leading them to 14 NCAA tournaments. Both teams are 2-0 in the ACC this season, but that will obviously have to change tonight. Next up, the Orange goes from Kentucky to Indiana on Sunday to meet up with Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish are looking for their first ACC win of the season after falling to Louisville and Florida State last weekend. SU took the loss against Notre Dame last season and have only beaten the Irish 4 times in 25 meetings. But the Orange have looked good to start this season. The team is second in the ACC in blocks, which has also earned them second in the conference in opponent hit percentage. Sophomore Santita Abangwase leads the ACC in blocks. They hope to continue that defensive dominance this weekend. Carly Nevis, Citrus TV.
Thanks, Carly. What a weekend we have coming up in the NFL. Fresh off their first victory of the season, the Giants head to Buffalo, where they will face the 2-1 Bills. Both sides will play the game without some key offensive players. New York will be without wide receiver Victor Cruz, while Buffalo will be without star running back LaShawn McCoy and sophomore receiver Sammy Watkins. Kickoff is set for 1 p.m. Toilet paper, and more toilet paper. The Jets are heading to London for their first time ever, and they're going prepared. Gang Green will be bringing 350 rolls of toilet paper with them on the trip. But I'm sure they hope they don't play like toilet paper. New York will be facing AFC East foe Miami on Sunday, looking to bounce back from last week's loss. The Dolphins, on the other hand, will be looking to get going after starting the season 1-2. Because the game will be played overseas, game time is set for 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The Yankees taking on the Red Sox, Game 4 of their series, and they get off to a good start here. Carlos Beltran hits one deep to right field, and it's 1-0 New York, bottom of the second. CC Sabathia was on the hill, and for the most part, he worked out of jams today. But here, he did not. Mookie Betts lines a single up the middle, and that'll score a run for Boston as they inch closer. But not to fear, Yankee fans, because it was bye-bye birdie in the bottom of the 7th. Rookie Greg Bird tees one up here, and he drives it deep to right center field, and that one's out of here. And he gives the Yankees some breathing room. But he wouldn't be the only rookie that helped. Rob Refsnyder hits his second career home run here in the bottom of the 8th, and that would be all she wrote as the Yankees take down the Red Sox 4-1. They have clinched a postseason berth for the first time since 2012. They're popping bottles and champagne in New York, and they're celebrating.
Okay, great. Thank you, Matt. Now, between the Yankees and the Mets, both have clinched a postseason spot now. Which of the New York teams do you think is going to go farther into the playoffs?
I mean, I'm a Yankee fan, but I actually think the Mets are going to go farther, and the reason for that is their pitching. They have probably one of the best pitching staffs in the entire league, and that'll carry them a lot farther than the Yankees pitching staff. The Yankees pitching staff has been struggling a lot lately, and that's going to really hurt them in the postseason.
Alrighty, thank you, Matt.
We'll be right back with one last look at your weather.
Don't change that dial.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Has the mail come yet today? What happened on The Bachelor last night?
Do you have the notes from class last week?
Do you have my size in this shirt? Have you seen my cell phone?
How are you feeling today?
Credit or debit?
How was your weekend?
What do we have due tomorrow?
Are you going out tonight? Is this class easy?
Hey, you want to get dinner?
Did you watch the game last night?
Do you want to have sex?
Okay, Nick, it's great to have you back. Now, apple picking this weekend, it's the weekend to do it. Syracuse has a bye week. When's the best day, Saturday or Sunday?
Well, Saturday might be looking at a little bit of rain, so I'd go on Sunday.
Alrighty, thank you, Nick.
Well, thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm Monica Hammer.
And I'm Jacob Reynolds. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram and like us on Facebook for all the news content you need.
Have a great night, Syracuse.